Hey folks, it's me, Michael Bach, your diversity dude, and this is Monday Morning Musings. And so it begins. You know, a lot of people have been looking at the governments of Rob Ford and Jason Kenney and wondering how long it would be before they started to dismantle some of the human rights protections that were put in place by previous governments. And yeah, it didn't take long. I read last week an article in the National Post that the United Conservative Party has canceled the Gay Conversion Therapy Working Group. This was a working group that was put together by the NDP government to put forward legislation to ban conversion therapy of LGBTQ peoples. For those of you who don't know, conversion therapy is a so-called psychological or spiritual intervention that is intent on changing someone's sexual orientation or gender identity. It has been banned and outlawed in the provinces of Ontario and Manitoba, and it has been completely debunked by scientific professionals around the world. So many studies we see of conversion therapy, how it doesn't work, how people go into these programs, they come out as ex-gay and then come out a few years later, or they commit suicide or harm themselves or others. Conversion therapy doesn't work. Sexual orientation is not something you can change, nor is gender identity. It's who you are. I could no more convert someone to being LGBT than you could an LGBT person to being straight. But the health minister for the United Conservative Party has said that, of course, his party isn't opposed to conversion therapy but it's not a priority for the government. And his press secretary later followed that up with a brilliant statement saying that we don't think, quote, I'm quoting here, we don't think there's a need to address it specifically because it's not a valid health service. Right. Not a valid health service, because that's what we were actually talking about, was a valid health service. No, what we're talking about is bringing in legislation to ban conversion therapy from happening, to make it illegal for anybody to be performing conversion therapy, because it's happening in the province of Alberta, it's happening in other provinces, it happens all over the US. Your priority as a government needs to be to protect vulnerable Albertans. We're talking about teenagers, children that are put into situations where they are physically and verbally abused and told that they are disgusting and not valuable because of who they are. This is exactly where a government needs to step in and pass legislation to stop this practice from happening. If your government wants to protect Albertans, this is what it needs to do, and it should be a priority. Everybody's watching, Premier Kenney, to find out what you will do on this particular issue, and you know why. So let's see what's going to happen. This is unacceptable. If you're watching this video, I would encourage you, if you live in Alberta, to contact your MLA. If you don't live in Alberta, contact the Premier's office. You can find that information on the interweb. And express a concern about how unacceptable this is. We need to stand up. No one thought that the United States would go back and revert to a time before the 1970s and remove Roe v. Wade and a woman's right to choose. That's where we're headed. If you think that it can't happen here in Canada, you're wrong. It will be slow and methodical, but our human rights will be picked apart piece by piece, and we cannot allow it to happen. Happy Monday. Thanks for watching. Please do share this video. Remember to subscribe to my channel by clicking on the link, and also connect with me on other social media platforms at DiversityDudeMB on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook. I hope you have a fantabulous week, and I will see you next week, hopefully a little brighter, for another episode of Monday Morning Musings.